Alrighty, you guys, thank you so much for calling in for our Tuesday night opportunity call. I'm super excited to be hosting this evening with Kisa Maxwell, and we're both going to share our stories to kind of kick this off. But I know that on a Tuesday night, you guys could be, watching some TV show. Hopefully you do still have a glass of wine next to you if you chose to participate with that this evening. But both Kisa and I are so grateful every single day for Isagenix. We're grateful for our health. We're grateful for this opportunity. And we just had such a calling on our heart to want to reach out and kind of share our stories and introduce some new people to take a look at Isagenix. This is a time of year that a lot of people are feeling a little stressed, driving home today from my last appointment in the traffic, and I live near a shopping mall. I was like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to distribute Ionix to the world. And people are kind of eating Christmas cookies everywhere they go in that Christmas crack brittle and just being like, oh, I'll start in the new year. I'll start in the new year. We're into that trend, and people are looking for what is their New Year results program going to be? And one of the things that we're so focused on is it's not a resolution, because we know that those don't work, but really being able to consume products that are going to yield results. And so on January 1st or the 7th, which is the first Monday of the new year, people are going to be signing up for our program. They're either going to be here or they're going to be somewhere else. And we want to show you really why we believe Isagenix is the best superfood out there, the best nutrition, the best community culture, team support, and all of that to get you those results. So I'm going to briefly share my story and then introduce Kisa. But I'll tell you guys, 5.5 years ago, I was a completely overworked, overwhelmed, underpaid, burnt out, exhausted nutritionist. I was eating clean. I was the girl that put people on Whole30. I didn't eat processed foods. Everything was organic, no GMOs. I was drinking gallons of water a day, working out hours a day. I didn't look good, and more importantly, I didn't feel good. So I was puffy. I craved sugar all the time. I had an IV of caffeine in my body and still felt terrible. And my cousin basically one day said, whatever you're doing is not working. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was a really out of integrity nutritionist. And I hopped on the 30-day system with full intentions of sending it back. I was thinking it's not going to work, and I was going to get my money back. And lo and behold, on day 5, jeans slipped on me that I hadn't worn in years. I didn't want coffee. I didn't need my alarm clock. I was waking up before it. And more than anything, I had this vibrancy. You'll hear people say they felt like they were sprinkled with unicorn sparkles, or a light bulb turned on inside of them. And for me, I was seeing the world through rose-colored glasses. The girl who was angry, irritable, frustrated, all of a sudden was like joyful and like, hi. And everybody's like, why are you in such a good mood? And I was like, hi, you should drink this shake. And it led into me building an accidental business. I absolutely needed the income. I was burnt out from exchanging time for money, and I was hoping or praying for supplemental and residual income. I didn't know that this was going to be it, but it honestly started because I was so on fire with how I felt. I could not keep my mouth shut. So Kisa and I actually went to high school together. We reconnected through Facebook and have become closer friends now than ever because of this Isagenix business. And Kisa, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can just kind of share with the call how Isagenix came in your life.
The mute button was hidden. Sorry about that. Well, thanks, Lauren. So about 4.5, 5 years ago, of course, the dog hears me and starts barking right when I start talking. I was kind of in the same place as Lauren. I was overworked. I was working a 40-hour-a-week job. I was a single mom, and I was eating pretty much like 80% paleo. I was working out about 5 to 6 times a week and still not having the results that I really wanted. And I was frustrated. I was overtired. I had super bad brain fog. I was pretty much living off of coffee and Diet Rock Stars, which we know are not very good for you at all. And so that in itself was just throwing my adrenals in a complete tailspin. So I, didn't realize that I needed something like Isagenix. And so when I saw Lauren posting all of these befores and afters, I reached out to her, but, still wasn't quite sure. So I said no for about 4 months. And finally, about 4.5 years ago, I said, okay, you know what? There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Let me give it a shot. If it doesn't work, I can always return it. But I was really desperate at that point. And kind of like Lauren mentioned, about day 5, I felt like someone flipped on a light switch. I did not need coffee. I did not need diet rock stars anymore. I wasn't getting that panicky feeling. I was waking up with, energy and vibrancy, and was a better mom. I was a better friend. I was, doing a better job at my actual job, and started getting so much more results in the gym, actually pulling a little bit away from what I was doing before and pulling back on my workouts. So once I realized that this was like a jackpot of nutrition, I started sharing with other people, and it really kind of projected me into this business that I didn't really realize, or a lifestyle that was possible. So I was able to quit my full-time job after working really, really hard, and I have absolutely love this community and this team. So thanks, Lauren.
That's awesome. So you guys, I want to just kind of dive right into some major things that are happening in our environment today, and some major things that why I truly believe that if you're on this planet and you're eating food and you're drinking water, that you need to have isogenics in your body. Because if you remember from my story, I said to you, I was already eating clean and I was already working out. So it's not like I was eating Taco Bell in a sedentary lifestyle and suddenly I got on the treadmill and drank a shake and I felt like I saw the life through rose-colored glasses. And because I had such an aha experience, when I was already doing things, it really probed me to want to know more. And if you remember what I said, I was a clinical nutritionist. And for me, I've always mechanistically had to understand how things worked. So I wasn't just going to take it for, the face label of like, ooh, I drank this shake, of course I should feel better. And when I started doing research and I started trying to understand what was so magical about this nutrition, I really found that there's 3 major issues that are in our environment, that are on the planet, that affect every single one of us. And Kisa's going to go through and really explain to you how our products provide the solutions. But when we focus on the problems, while we focus on why people are sluggish, why we have more autoimmunity, why we have more cancer, why we are more overweight and obese than we've ever been, like whatever is going on, right? What's causing that? And the first thing is I'll share with you is our food is bankrupt. I don't care how clean you're eating, how healthy, how organic, it's impossible to get everything you need from food alone today. So we will talk about research studies that show about how many more oranges you have to eat today than in the 70s to get the same amount of vitamin C. How many more cups of spinach? When you just think about everyone taking a fish oil, like I don't know the last time I saw someone that ate cold water fatty fish daily, let alone multiple times a day. We don't get enough vitamin D. We're not in the sun. And if we do, we wear sunscreen. So just realizing that we are going to be malnourished or going to have nutrition deficiencies from jump is part of it. The second is, let's think about here for a second, the amount of pollution and toxicity in the environment. So our kidneys and liver are amazing, but we don't have the same amount of cars on the road today as we did 100 years ago. Think about what's happened with factories, the industrialized revolution, food coloring, sulfites, parabens, herbicides, pesticides, all the cars on the road, everything that's happening, and our bodies are sponges to that. And so to think that, our kidneys and liver are going to be able to do the same work today as they were designed to do thousands of years ago is, in my opinion, foolish. And the third major issue is the stress we're under. So every single one of you, you can raise your hand or comment in the chats if you have some stress, right? It should be, I think, all of us. If you're not, I want to know what you're doing. But whether it's relationship stress, it's financial stress, it's traffic, it's workouts. Working out is a form of stress in the body. We all are going through something that's called adrenal fatigue or adrenal stress. We've got cortisol off the wazoo, which prevents you from gaining lean body mass and also makes you hold on to stubborn weight. It affects your sleep. It affects your mood. And when I say we all have this is men, women, young, old, overweight, underweight. We all need better food. We all need to cleanse at the cellular level, and we all have to manage our stress. And so even though we have different areas of focus, because the athlete who wants to increase his energy and performance, or the mom that wants to lose baby weight, or the baby boomer that wants to age more gracefully, or someone who just is looking for better wellness. It's like, I just want to feel good and look good for a long time. The products the foundation's going to be similar, even though they go to work in the body differently. So Kisa, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you can talk to us about our specific products and which ones are doing what when you get started.
Yeah, of course. So with Lauren mentioned that, the first area of concern is really the nutrition aspect of it. And so we address this by way of our meal replacement shakes. And we have so many different options depending on if you prefer whey-based shakes or plant-based options. So that's one area where Isagenix pretty much has you fully covered. But all of our shakes are full of amino acids and pre and probiotics and digestive enzymes, and are really going to be filling in the nutritional gaps for you that you're not getting from your existing diet. So a lot of people talk about, well, if I eat really well or eat really whole foods, why would I need these shakes? But it really is the bioavailability of the shakes and how much they absorb into your body versus what the fork and knife food is doing because of the depletion in the nutrients and in the minerals and the vitamins of the foods that we eat. And then she talked secondly about the toxicity. And so we address this by way of our Cleanse for Life. And a lot of people are concerned sometimes when they hear the word cleanse about whether it's like a bathroom cleanse or do they have to do it while they're stuck at home. And I can assure you that it is not that I actually tell people to do it on a day that you're busiest. It provides you with an additional source of energy, I feel like you're just kind of buzzing around. And what it is it's going to be pulling toxicity from your cells. And so that's where toxicity gets built up, and the Cleanse for Life is amazing for that. Whether you want to do, a 24-hour cleanse or a 48-hour cleanse, or some people do nightly cleanses, it's super customizable just to fit into your existing lifestyle. And that's something that's just so great for every single person on the planet. Everyone, I believe, needs to cleanse. And then the third area that she talked about is going to be stress. So by way of the people that I can see here, who has dealt with stress? At least today, if not all month, all year. Especially this period of time is super stressful for so many people. And so we address this with our Ionic Supreme, and it has what's called adaptogenic herbs. I know adaptogens are something that so many people are talking about right now, but Isagenix has been using them for as long as we've been in business, so for 16 years. And so what that's going to do is help to lower your stress in your body naturally. When you lower your stress and support your adrenals, you're actually lowering the cortisol in your body, which helps to address the fat, the toxic fat, and the fat especially around the stomach area. So we always joke around and call that mommy juice or nature's Xanax, and it truly, truly is. It was, I think, probably, obviously all the products in conjunction, but Ionix is where I felt the biggest difference initially when I started this program. And, it was just something that I really, really needed to help support my adrenal system and just make me feel so amazing all day long. Do you want me to keep going, Lauren, or just those three?
If you want to talk about the vitamins, I would say let's talk about the vitamins.
Okay, so our vitamins are absolutely amazing. I call them the facelift in a box vitamins. So they come in these little tear-off packs that are great and super convenient. So I know so many people that have so many bottles of vitamins, and it becomes difficult to keep opening every single one or putting them in your little container. So Isagenix has done the work for you with the vitamins. And what's so amazing is that they have all of your daily requirements in these little packs. And then in addition, the facelift in a box vitamin is the product B Isogenesis. And so John Anderson, our formulator, won a Nobel Prize based on the science behind this vitamin. But I don't know if any of you know what telomeres are, but they're part of your DNA, and they are what aids in the aging process. So with the product B, it helps to lengthen and strengthen those telomeres. And I kind of use the visual for people of shoelace caps, those plastic caps on the ends of your shoelace. And when those come off, your shoelaces fray. And that's what happens to us as we age, or to our telomeres. So the product B Isogenesis is really just helping to put those shoelace caps back on and strengthen and lengthen and restore the aging process. And so I know so many people that see before and after pictures of people that use Isagenix, and it really does appear that they age in reverse. My dad's a perfect example of that. You see his before and after picture, and it's literally it's a 5-year difference, but he looks 15 years younger in his after picture. And the vitamins are a huge contributor to that.
Totally. I absolutely agree with all of that, you guys. And that's just the foundation of the Isogenics products. You know, when you think about how am I going to get more energy? How am I going to get glowing skin? How am I going to have the physical body that I want? How am I going to have the alkalized body that I want? All of these things, that's the foundation. And when you build a house, the foundation is the most important part. And then when you get to start to design the windows or design the flooring or pick out your cabinets, I mean, Isogenics has an entire online wholesale superfood store that you can customize what you want and the products that you like. So I know Laura Lori on our call tonight loves the skincare line, loves, loves, loves. And as much as I will love it because of the ingredients, I am a lazy face washer. I just am. So if I want to talk about it, you're lucky if I get my once over a wipe thing off before I go to bed. However, I am someone that loves the performance line. I work out once, sometimes twice a day. I love the energy I get. I love the recovery that I get, the strength, the endurance, and that's something that I can talk about. I know that there's people on this call that love our oils. There's people on the call that love the snack options, that they have a protein chip or a protein bar or things that support their goals. And that's one of the things that's so awesome about Isogenics is that you get to customize it to you. This is not a diet. This is not about restriction. It's about holistic rebalancing. It's about wellness. It's about just looking and feeling your best and figuring out how that works for you. And that's why when you hear me close this up about the New Year's results, it's not a resolution. It's not a diet. It's not about restricting things. It's really about giving you everything you need to get the results that you want. So Kisa and I could sit here all day long, but I think what's most important is that you can meet some of these people that I always say are real people with real results, hearing about what Isogenics did for them both physically and financially. So Ash, I see your video's off, but if you can turn on your video and hop out and just share your 1 to 2 minute story, we would love to hear what Isogenics has done for you.
Hi. Sorry about that. It was on a low power mode, so it turned the video went down. But hi everyone. I just am so grateful for this. But my story it's kind of different than some people's, but everyone's got a different story. But essentially I found this through Lauren. Lauren came to me, but I was in a really tough spot in my life, and I had just actually gone through a house fire, and Lauren had been talking to me about Isogenics for a really long time, and I just kind of was a really big skeptic, and I was in the bodybuilding industry and fitness, and I just thought I knew everything, did every bro science diet, every Whole30, paleo, keto, like everything you can imagine, and I was just stuck and just tired of like the yo-yo dieting and all of that stuff. And essentially what it came down to was I had a house fire. I lost everything. I was literally living in a hotel room. I had no way to cook food. I didn't have a way to do anything healthy. I was stressed out of my mind. I couldn't sleep at night. I didn't even know financially how I was going to survive. I didn't know emotionally how I was even going to survive. I just felt so drained and just exhausted. I was living off energy drinks and fast food. So I was just packing on the weight like super fast, which was really hard. So I was just down on myself, just emotionally, physically, everything. And so I talked to Lauren and she was like, these products absolutely work. They really will help you. And it's a great way to get a good meal without having to cook anything. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll just take whatever I can get. So I did it, and within a couple of days, I was just lit up. I actually could feel the effects of the ionics, and I thought she was crazy. And I don't know, I didn't understand why it was working or how it was working. All I knew is that it was. I could sleep at night. I actually was sleeping more than 4 hours. I wasn't having my night terrors anymore. Things that were so stressful, like going back to the house and having to deal with the fire and having to deal with all the financial and the insurance and the arson and all of that stuff, was just piling up. And I wasn't as stressed, and it's weird concept, but it's just what it was. And it blew my mind. And so I lost 12 pounds in my first month, and I was actually feeling healthier. I was able to get back in the gym. I just had energy. It was fantastic. And so everybody knew what I was going through, and they were like, how are you still able to thrive and do this? And so I just naturally started sharing with my family and some of my friends, and then Lauren, and then I just kind of saw the money coming in, and I was like, wait, this is this legit? And so Lauren kind of coached me and helped me see the business opportunity. And ever since then, 3 years ago, I've been sharing ever since. And, you know, all I can say is that just never stop sharing, because people come out of the woodworks, and just so many people I've just been able to bless by sharing this and getting out of my own way, and just not focusing on the negative side of trying to sell people, but more or less helping people, because it really truly helped me. But that's my
awesome.
story.
Thank you, girly. And it's true. You never know who's looking for this. And if there's one thing over the 5.5 years and the, multiple thousands of people, is the ones that you think are absolutely ready or want it are not. And the ones that would think you would never going to call are the ones that are the most grateful. So the other gal that gets to share her story tonight is my sister, who I always say went from skeptic to superstar. But she was my guinea pig. And I just want to let you share your story, Rach.
Hey there, thank you for having me on. Can you hear okay? So yeah, the person who you would never think would do this, that absolutely would have been me. I am a psychologist by training. I've been in the health and wellness industry for over 20 years as a fitness instructor, a health coach, someone who personally has always been a health advocate. I was the person eating super clean, doing everything right. I had tried sort of every program under the sun, had worked with Lauren and myself on a number of different health ailments and issues for the last 10 years. And when she came to me and approached me about using Isagenix, I said, sure, if you think these are great products, absolutely, I'll give them a try. I wasn't really reserved about that piece of it, but I did know that there was a compensation plan or a business plan attached to this. And I said, do not talk to me about the business. I'll take the products, I'll try the products, but I'm not a salesperson. I don't like to talk to people. I listen to people all day long. But lo and behold, like everyone else, I had an amazing transformation. I absolutely fell in love with these products. I had gone from someone who was counting every single calorie and gram of sugar and reading every label to then working out less, eating more, feeling better than I had ever felt. And I was just like, holy cow, if this is happening to me, I can only imagine what it would do for other people in my life. And I couldn't keep my mouth shut even if you put a piece of duct tape over it. And I started to tell everyone that I knew and who would listen to, but I said, go see my sister, she'll get you hooked up. I don't know, I just know I feel great, go see my sister, she'll get you hooked up. Well, of course, Lauren, the loving sister that she is, gave me the referral rebates, the credits that Isagenix is so generous about. And before I knew it, a few $100s was in my bank account. And I was like, well, that's awesome. I just wanted so-and-so and so-and-so to feel amazing like I do. And Lauren said, you've got to come check out this event. You've got to come. New Year's kickoff, which is coming up for us in a couple of weeks. I went 6 years ago in 2014, or 5 years ago in 2014, and just fell in love with the community, the culture, the people. I met the most down-to-earth, amazing people in my life. And I realized this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't a pyramid scheme. It's not one of those things. Instead, it's an avenue to allow me to help a lot of people more than I ever would. And it really cast a vision of what my life could look like, rather than working in a burnt out, unfulfilled job with $200,000 in student loan debt that I would be working off for the rest of my life to pay off. I could now literally move to Mexico, which I did 2 years ago, do Isagenix full time, which is something that I absolutely love, get paid to help people. I've helped more people than I have I've helped more people in the last 5 years than I have in 20 years in my entire industry. And it's the most fun and rewarding thing I've ever done. So thank you.
Thank you. And you guys, I just think it's so fun. And these are two of like hundreds of thousands of stories that you will find when you ask people about Isagenix. And, we have people that they took off minutes off their run time, marathon runners. We have people that put on 10 pounds of lean body mass. We have people that finally slept through the night, that are less moody, less irritable, whatever it may be. And it's because we have solutions that transform lives. We're not a one-hit wonder. We're not a patch. We're not a drink. We're not a magic pill. We provide nutrition that goes into the body, because the body's the miracle, to rebalance it and get you the goals that you want. So I want to leave you with this. First of all, like I said, coming into January, we know people have health and wellness goals. We do. And we're inviting you to take a look at these solutions, because not only does Isagenix have ridiculous specials through the end of the year. So for the next 2 weeks, whoever invited you onto this call, if you're listening to it live or you end up listening to this in recorded time, whoever has invited you onto this call, please get back to them, because until December 31st, Isagenix has the most generous specials I've seen with being with the company for 5 years. On top of that, anybody who gets started with us tonight, we have an additional $29 discount that was gifted to us from our corporate headquarters for doing the call, and just as a way of saying thank you to the guests for their time and a little incentive for you to take that leap into getting healthy. But more importantly than the specials, because those you guys all bundled up together are between $75 and $200 off of one of the systems that you would get started with. I truly believe in my heart, diets don't work. I mean, the first 3 letters of the word diet is die. You know, we don't want you to be hungry. We don't want you to feel deprived. We don't want you to be restricted. Everybody underneath the sun right now that wants to do keto, it's going to work temporarily. And then you, oops, and you have a donut and all of a sudden you look like the Michelin man. I mean, that's just the real results, that we want you to be on something that's going to not only get you your physical goals, but also your internal goals. And one of the things that I really, really sometimes forget to talk about is the community and the culture and the support. So you don't have to cleanse alone. You don't have to figure out how to make your chocolate shake alone. We have this team that shares recipes and workouts and cheers you on and motivates you and encourages you. And I'm cleansing tomorrow, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I have a little bit of a headache and I'm tired and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to go have happy hour. You know, Rachel or Shannon or Jules or someone's going to be like, no, finish strong, be skinny in the morning, you know, and the fact that we have this team is just so important. So of all of the things that I've done myself, of all of the programs I've heard out there, I can say with confidence and certainty, there's nothing like Isagenix. We're innovative, and there are cutting edge nutritional products that we have been leading, spearheading this industry for over a decade, you know, a decade and a half. And just like Kisa said, adaptogens are on the rise. Every single person out there right now is talking about protein pacing, is talking about intermittent fasting. And we give you the tools to run on, the tracks to run on, and the well-proven results in science-based research of products that have been around for 16 years, right? It's not our first day. We have perfected what other people are just starting to talk about. That join the team, hop in, look and feel your best, make 2019 your best year, and grab these specials and savings. So Kisa, thank you for hosting. Rachel and Ash, thank you for sharing your story. For all of you guests that hopped on, thank you so much. Have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and we can't wait to see you on the flip side. Bye, you guys. Good night.